Andarki Namaskaram. I welcome you all for the Sanatan Dharma course youth program. Today our speaker is CSR Prabhu Garu. I'll start first with Pradhana. Suklam Bharadaram Vishnum Sasivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasanna Vadanam Jaye Sarva Vignopashantaye Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambam Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Swastihi. Today I want to introduce our speaker, CSR Prabhu Garu. So it was stuck, sir. 1 minute. Sir. Our speaker, Dr. CSR Prabhu Garu, has held prestigious positions with Government of India and various institutions. He retired as the Director General of National Informatics Center, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India, New Delhi, and has worked in various capacities at Tata Consulting Services, CMC, TES, Telco, etc. He was also an international resource faculty for programs of APO, Asian Productivity Organization, and represented India as International Panel at Venture 2004, held by APO at Osaka, Japan. He taught and researched at University of Central Florida, Orlando, and also had a brief stint as a consultant to NASA Cape Canaveral. Mr. Prabhu was unanimously elected and served as chairman of Computer Society of India, Hyderabad chapter. He is presently working as an advisor at KL University, Vijayawada, Andhra Pradesh, and as a director research and innovation at Kesav Memorial Institute of Technology, Hyderabad. He obtained his master's degree in electrical engineering with specialization in computer science from Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay, after a bachelor degree in electronics and communication engineering from JNTU, Hyderabad in 1976. He has guided a large number of student research projects at master level and has published several papers. We welcome you for today's lecture, sir. And today's sir's concept is on roots of modern science in Samskrita Vangmayam. I ask sir to continue the class.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, friends, today we will discover the origins of science and technology from Sanskrit Vangmayam or Sanskrit literature. The matter is very simple in terms of historical time sequence. If we read our textbooks, it is mentioned that all discoveries and inventions in all fields of science, mathematics, physics, chemistry, or even engineering, technology, everything originated in England or nearby England around 200, 250 years ago, within 300 years. If you look at the dates of Newton, Pascal, Boyle, or Young, everybody will be within the last 200 to 300, maximum 300 years. Normally it is 150 to 200 years. And even the medical system like allopathy is about 150 years old. So this is the picture which we get from our textbooks and which we normally accept without questioning. But the natural logical question that arises, is it true? That is one question. Is it true that all sciences, all technologies, even mathematics, logic, everything, medicine, everything originated in England or nearby England around 200 years ago or maximum 300 years? Is it true? Number one question. Number two question that will arise is, our Mahabharata, Ramayana, other things, they have mentioned a lot about very advanced technologies. So, are they bluffing? Like whatever is mentioned in Mahabharata or Ramayana in terms of, say, Pushpa Vimana or Brahmastra, or about plastic surgery, removing the nose and fixing the nose, removing the head and fixing the head, etc., etc. Are all they fake or real? So these two questions we'll try to answer. These two questions are closely interrelated. Now let us address the first question, which is whether all sciences and technologies, including mathematics, logic, philosophy, and even medicine, originated only in England or nearby England, around 200 years ago or 300 years ago. If it is so, let us assume for the time being that it is true. If it is true, how it was possible to construct huge temples or pagodas or pyramids or big cities? Because we in India and outside India also, we have huge monuments like pyramids in Egypt, or the city of Rome, or Babel Tower, or even our Brahmanalaya at Tanjavur. These are all huge monuments. It is very difficult to construct even with today's knowledge. For example, if you look at the Buddha statue at Hyderabad, when it was chiseled from a stone in Bongir, it was brought to Hyderabad by a crane, which was costing around 2 crores per day. And then after coming to Hyderabad, Hussain Sagar, while it was being ferried to the center of the lake, it has sunk into the water. Those who are old like me can remember those days. Once it sunk into the water, it remained under water for many days or months or years. After great difficulty, it was brought up and installed at the Gibraltar rock in the center of Hussain Sagar, which we can see today as a Buddha statue. Correct? That is not the largest or tallest Buddha statue in the world. It is second. The bigger one than that is the Shravana Belagola Gomateshwara statue, which is kept at the top of a hill. If you want to go to that hill, it will be very difficult to go. You have to climb up and all that. So how is it possible that they could lift such a big statue to the hill? Or is it that they lifted from the ground to the hill, which is not possible today? Or they made the statue on the hill itself? Even that is not an easy. It's the world's largest monolithic statue at Hassan district, Shravana Belagola in Karnataka. Similarly, nobody knows how the pyramids were constructed. Today, nobody can construct even one such pyramid. Even if you take Taj Mahal, it's very difficult, if not impossible, to construct an exact duplicate of Taj Mahal. In fact, Aurangzeb tried to duplicate it in Aurangabad. It's called Bibi Ka Maqbara. It's an utter flop. So many constructions constructed today with all the latest technologies we have. So what does it mean? It means they had more advanced technology than we have today. And similarly, India was the richest country in the world till 1750. A lot of gold was there. And a lot of manufactured goods like cloth, textiles, silk. Silk was coming from China, but textiles were made in India. All that was going to all parts of the world. And even in Bible, there's a mention of the Kalankari, the art of India. And all the great kings and queens and even Aristotle and others, they were wearing the clothes made in India, woven by looms, hand looms. So how is it possible that they could survive for thousands of years. Because if you look at the human being, he has existed for about 1 lakh years. So how could a human being survive for 1 lakh years without dying, without medical systems, and without shelter, without houses, without cities, without palaces, without forts? All these were being constructed. And if there is no knowledge of gravitation, or there is no knowledge of strength of materials, or if there was no knowledge of any other subject, how is it possible to have all that advanced civilizational lifestyle? If you look at the Egyptian lifestyle in some of the museums, I went to Louvre Museum in Paris. They were very, very modern, very, very, very up to date. The kind of furniture they used, the kind of hairstyles they used, and the kind of life they were living, the kind of gold and all that. Around 5,000 years ago, they were very, very luxurious. And similarly, when you look at the Indian palaces, forts, they are very luxurious, very strong. So without knowledge of engineering, how they could construct all. So that statement is obviously a false statement that all science and technology originated in England or nearby England around 200 years ago or less, or 300 years. Number two question. If it is so, the next question that arises is, are all these descriptions in Ramayana, Mahabharata, Purana all fake? Okay, let us assume 1 is fake, 2 is fake, 3 is fake. When we have to say all are fake, that means Vyasa was a liar and a cheat, Valmiki was a liar and cheat. So was every other author who wrote so many books. Why will they be? Because they are supposed to be very great personalities. They are supposed to be avatars. Will they tell lies? Will they write fabricated fake narratives which we will be believing blindly? There must have been truth. I have done some investigations into these issues, and I realized that about 100 branches of science and technology, there was extraordinary advancement way back before Mahabharata war, and it was gradually tapering down after Mahabharata. And what we have today is kind of a relic, very small fraction relic of the original. Like say Ayurveda. We have Ayurveda today. It has existed before allopathy was started, when penicillin was discovered. Before that, there was no allopathy. Only Ayurveda was there. Similarly, not only in India, in all countries, only Ayurveda was there. In fact, the word Hippocrates refers to Greek equivalent of soup karta in Sanskrit. Distortion of supa is Hapa and karta is kratos. That means a person who makes kashaya, soup. So that is what a doctor is all about. So the medical systems like Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, they all work. How they work, nobody knows. Yoga works. So who invented yoga? Was it invented in the West? Though now some Westerners are saying yoga is ours. So what I'm trying to say is that human civilization is very large, and many epochs have passed, and many wonderful things have happened in the past. Like Vimanas existed. We have evidence. I have reproduced some of the yantras and materials from Vimana Shastra. I'll tell more about it in another lecture. Today, we'll restrict ourselves to ordinary subjects like, say, physics, for example. So we have a book called Vaiseshika Sutras, written by Kanada Rishi. He has clearly declared the laws of motion, force, acceleration, and even projectile motion, and heat, electricity, magnetism. I have translated the Kanada Vaiseshika Sutras into English along with commentary. That book is available from the Vedic University in Tirupati. It's very clear that they were quite familiar with the laws of physics way back 5,000 years ago. Because without being familiar with laws of physics, how could they construct temples? Huge temple, not ordinary temple. See, in Tanjavur Bodhisvaralaya, there is some 1,000-ton stone, single stone at the top of the temple. How did it go there? Today you cannot take it there. Such a great. Nobody knows the answer. Similarly, in the pyramids also, how did such big stones get compiled into a pyramid shape? Nobody knows the answer. And similarly, if you have the metallurgy part, so let us say we have the Delhi iron pillar, it doesn't rust for thousands of years. How? Nobody knows. And even there are other iron pillars also, like Konark also, there used to be one. And in Konark temple, the idol of Surya Bhagavan was floating in air. And because of magnets, and the people who were going nearby sea, Portuguese and other invaders, they came and destroyed it. There are so many such wonders which are there today, which show that there was a very advanced state of science and technology, not exactly like ours. Suppose somebody asks, was there a mobile phone? Was there WhatsApp? No, it need not be. They have their own ways. Just by thought, they were able to communicate. Now we are destroying our brains and eyes by looking at WhatsApp all the time. And just by sankalpa, they were able to do what they wanted to do. And they had vimanas of their own type, not our type. They had astras, which we don't have. Versus a mechanical age. It's all physical, but they had even higher powers, occult powers, and mantra powers. So that's a very advanced state of technology and science in its own way. We have so many other evidences. Like take mathematics. We have Vedic mathematics. We have covered it in this course. Other than that, we have Bhaskara Acharya, Varaha Mihira Acharya, and so many other Aryabhata, so many others who have developed so many theorems and so many techniques in mathematics, which are well known. Say, take the numbers 0 to 9. How did they come? Because they didn't know it in the West. In Rome, they had what are called Roman numbers. That is, 1 means 1, if you write two lines, 3 means 3 lines, 4 means 5 lines means V. You put 1 to the left, it will become 4. It will 1 to the right, it will become 6. Like this, it will be very, very difficult. Suppose you want to express 1,86,000, that is the speed of light, in that Roman number, it's impossible. So Einstein declared that we owe to Indians their decimal number system, because of which all developments in science and technology could take place. And the number systems in English or the Western world are called Arabic numerals, 0 to 9, and the decimal number system. Whereas in Arabia, they call them Hindsa, the numbers which have come from Hind. Hind means India. So all kinds of knowledge went from here to Arabia and from Arabia to Western world, whether it is Rome or France or Germany. Arabia was pretty close and they had continuous diffusion. If you look at the historical sequence, we have the Saraswati River in the Haryana region. It has existed during the Rigveda period because Rigveda refers to it as the biggest river, Nadi Tame. Of course, it dried up around 4000 BC, but it existed for thousands of years. So on the banks of Saraswati River, all the Vedic Rishi ashramas were there and all the knowledge was developed. So the knowledge development, that is the Vedic civilization. The word Veda itself is knowledge. The knowledge model which they had is different from what we have today. It need not be same. Today, our knowledge model is based on internet, WhatsApp, email, and journals, papers, books. At that time, it was not like that. No papers were used. Script was known, but it was limitedly used to inscribe on the rock or palm leaves sometimes later. So they used the Shruti, the human being hearing capacity, learning capacity to teach. So they taught for 12, 15, 20 years, 25 years of life. So all the knowledge acquired from hearing to the teacher, from hearing from teacher. The same knowledge was delivered to the students later by those who have learnt. So the Swadhyaya Pravachanabhyam Ma Pramaditavyam. Don't ever stop learning and teaching. So now the word Veda means knowledge, and all knowledge was accumulated into a knowledge house or knowledge warehouse. That is called Veda. And it was infinite because people kept on adding on all subjects. Which subject? Every subject. You tell the name of the subject, it will be available in the Veda. And that subject is called Devata. Devata does not mean God or goddess. It means subject. Prithvi Devata, about earth. Bhu Suktam is there. It will describe everything about earth. And similarly, Prana Suktam is there. It will describe about life. Then Arunam, Sauram. So all the so-called Devatas are nothing but subjects of nature. Because the word Veda has 2-3 meanings. With Jnane, that is to know. Knowledge, noun form of knowing or to know is knowledge. So with is verb form and Veda is noun form. Similarly, with Sattayam also, even the existence, Vidyate. So if you take the noun form, existence. So that means the subjects of nature, universe, existence are covered in the Veda. They are called Devatas. There are about 800 Devatas. And the Rishis are the human beings who have delivered the knowledge in the form of particular poems, in particular rules of Chandas. And they're like Gayatri Chandas, Anushtup Chandas, all these Vedic mantras. And they contain the knowledge of nature, Prakriti, the forces of nature, the Devatas. So that is the Veda. And that was the Vedic knowledge model. But later on, as time passed, huge periods of time passed. And by the way, that Vedic knowledge model was universal. The language used in the Rigveda was the Vedic Sanskrit, which is a universal language. It had integration of all the global languages at that time, which were like Apabhramshas or Prakrits. So that model went on for a long time. It's not limited to India. It's a global. Sanskrit is a global. Vedic Sanskrit was a global. You have Tamil words in Rigveda. You have so many other words. So that language and the knowledge expressed in that language, recorded in that language by oral means. Because if they write on paper, paper will get destroyed. There is no paper in the first place. We can't write on rocks such huge amounts of. So the best way to acquire knowledge, transmit knowledge from generation to generation is to chant. So therefore poems, hymns, Vedic hymns. That is how Shruti, it's called Shruti, heard. And after some time, that model evolved into a different model. Upavedas came. Like Ayurveda is Upaveda, Gandharva Veda is Upaveda, Sthapatya Veda is Upaveda. So these Upavedas became darshanas and shastras, Ayurveda Shastra. And so the shastras came and darshanas also came. Yoga Darshana, Sankhya Darshana, Nyaya Darshana, Vaiseshika Darshana. Darshana means a large subject perspective. Shastra is a specific text. Darshana doesn't mean a specific text. It means entire subject. Like physics, Vaiseshika is the entire subject. So Vaiseshika Sutras of Kannada is a Sutrakara, is therefore taken as a standard, but there are many other texts before him, after him, during his time, and after him, of course, still now many books. My own book also is there. In the same way, on the other darshanas, many books like Vedanta Darshana, there are thousands of texts. There are 25 models, Advaita, 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 and so on. Mimamsa Darshana, Nyaya Darshana is logic. A lot of you don't know who has invented logic. Gautama has invented logic. Nyaya Darshana is Sutrakara. So we have this Gautami Express, that means going to Godavari. Godavari is called Gautami because Gautama lived there. He was originally from Bihar. So he gave Nyaya Sutras, which are talking about proof, talk about logic, evidence, fallacy, and so on. So various types of pramanas. Pramana means provable knowledge. So it's not like blind belief of a particular book. Bible or Quran or something or something or something. It's not like that. It is logic. Knowledge is based on logic. Questioning, getting answer, proving, various types of proof. So that was deployed even in medical field, in Ayurveda, of course in physics, in Vaiseshika, and of course in mathematics. We have hundreds of books. So you can see that the ancient people had all this knowledge. Sanskrit was not limited to India. It was a global language, and these books were studied in various universities, Nalanda, Takshashila. Takshashila was constructed by Shatrughna and Ramayana's time. But there is a huge, we have many universities where people came from abroad and all from all countries, even from Greece, from Rome and China, they studied here. So what happened to all of them? They were destroyed. They were destroyed by invaders, colonizers who wanted to destroy this country. So we start from scratch. The colonizers imposed English on us. So we start with English. We praise Englishmen. Like Macaulay wrote a letter saying that if my education policy is implemented, we'll have millions of brown Englishmen and women who speak, think, and behave like Englishmen. That's what we're doing. Of course, the only thing he failed to do is to continue the British domination in India. Language is continuing, but not the British people. So these are many other evidences are there to show that the present day books, sciences, technologies were derived from the previous. Like if you take the surgery, we have Sushruta Samhita, which gives around 180 or some surgical instruments, which are being used even today in the modern hospitals. Similarly, if you take botany, the leaf structure and all is copied from one of the Nigantus. So we can easily show, and even agriculture, we can easily show that all sciences and technologies today, when they originated, they were derived from the previous, because that's normal. Any knowledge cannot be generated newly. It has to be derived or extended, abstracted from the previous knowledge. That's what was done. So the roots of all the modern science and technology, texts and inventions exist in the earlier ancient texts, which are invariably in Sanskrit. Thank you. I finished. Time is up, right?
Yes, sir.
So I finished. Now we can close.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable information. You have given so much exposure to the practical real-time examples. Thank you, sir. So now we'll have prayer. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः स्वस्तिः. Now we all stand for the national anthem. जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल वंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्जल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गादा जनगण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे Jaya 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 He. Jai Hind. Thank you. I'll stop the recording, sir.